The first kind of weathering we'll go over is the physical weathering processes. So this does not involve a chemical reaction, it's just disaggregation of the rocks. And there are a couple examples, these: exfoliation jointing, thermal expansion, um, biological activity, and frost wedging. Exfoliation jointing happens when a rock forms at depth under pressure, and then the overburden, the rock above it weathers away, and when the pressure comes off that rock, it pops. It cracks because it's no longer being held down by the pressure of the overriding rock. So the surface is usually going to be rounded and kind of mimic the shape of the earth. So the rock will break off kind of in these rounded sheets. When that happens, then notice, so it's breaking off here, that now there's going to be more rock surface exposed to get more chemical weathering and more frost wedging. We'll see what those are in a second. Okay, thermal expansion. Thermal expansion happens kind of in two special cases. One is when there's been a forest fire, and two is when there is a place like the desert where it can be really hot during the day and quite cool at night. So minerals are going to expand and contract with the change in temperature, and they're going to do that at different rates. So imagine you have a rigid rock. Let me get the rock here. A rock that has different kinds of minerals in it, and they're expanding and contracting at different rates at different temperatures. That's going to break down the rock, and it's going to break over time. And that is thermal expansion. And when it looks like the image here in the background where it's peely like that, that's called spalling. Okay, put both of these on the same slide. This is that biological disintegration. So this is a scene that is pretty common around Boone, that we have trees growing within the foliation plains and opening up the cracks in that rock. And then the image at the bottom is an earthworm. And earthworms break down soil, break down rocks, and break down soil really close to the bedrock, create an acidic environment. They can take also smaller rocks, and they'll digest those rocks and then poop out even smaller rocks. So they're breaking down those rocks inside their bodies. And all that activity, biological activity, creates acids that we'll see act to break down minerals. Frost wedging, this one's really common in Boone because we have really cold nights when water freezes into cracks in the rock, and then it expands when it freezes and cracks that rock a little bit. Then during the day, it gets above freezing. We have liquid again that moves through those cracks. Again, it's going to freeze at night and crack it again. What happens then, this image isn't from Boone, but these rocks then over time are just going to keep breaking apart because of frost wedging. And then you get this apron of a type of regolith called talus. So that's a talus slope. These are the angular, boulder-sized chunks at the base of this cliff or this rocky face.